Hey, dads, it's Friday night. That can only mean one thing. Yes, it's the end of the week, and this is the wrap up. Tonight, we are joined by some extra special guests, which we will introduce to you on the other side. Roll theme.
Welcome to Team Super Dad. Real dads creating their best lives ever. More time, more money, more fun. You are not alone. You're on Team Super Dad.
Hey, gang, it is the wrap up. Back here. And if we just give that a little flick, where everyone comes in big style. Look at that. For our regular listeners, if I can bring a little logo in. Oh, it's going to put it up there. Oh, no, can't move that. Put a logo right on Colin's face. I need to make a little three-way template. Not that three-way is the kind of language you use when you got four blokes.
Friday night, Johnny.
Yeah, anything goes.
But yeah, listen. For any of our regular guests, if you're listening, then you won't be able to see we have extra people on the wrap up tonight. But if you're watching, because we do have lots of people who watch the live, then welcome to the wrap up tonight. My esteemed and regular guest, Glenn at A Dating Dad. Good to see you, Glenn. Oh, I thought that was like a Harry Enfield moment. I thought he was just doing a Mr. Steel guy, you know. But anyway,
typical. I literally work in tech. I'm on this all day, every day, and the minute a couple of Northerners come on, it gets slow. I don't know what's going on. You're kind of draining the energy from my southern power here.
It's because they nicked all the.
we just bring in balance, mate. That's all. It's just with the yin to your yang, mate.
Absolutely perfect. So, for anyone that went to uni with me, you might have recognised that voice. That is the very esteemed Mr. Colin Hudson. Cole, good to see you.
Good to see you, Johnny. Thanks for inviting us.
You're welcome. And you have brought a friend along with you, Rich. Good to. First time I've met you, but good to see you, Rich.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, you too.
He just literally turned up for a cup of tea. He was like, "Oh, whilst you're here, you fancy joining in on it?"
The podcast, yeah. Why not?
That's good. That's good. We have watches in the hundreds, and the listens are cranking up towards 1,000 a show now. So that's pretty awesome. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So listen. So for our regulars, right? This is quite new, right? Having four people on on at once. You might remember some of the earlier episodes of the Team Super Dad podcast. We did an expert hangout where I had like 5 or 6 different experts on. And it was quite tricky to manage, so I kind of reined it back in. And I always had a plan to do the wrap up as a group, like a sports sort of podcast type thing. And Glenn and I were doing so well that we never expanded it. But Colin, you used to do a radio show and podcast called The Bunker, which was awesome. So I knew it'd be good to get you on. What was the Bunker about?
Oh, the Bunker started off as a great way of wasting Friday afternoons under the official guise of work. I had the best boss ever. He was totally into his tunes and what have you. So on Friday afternoons, he quite happily let me work from home, where we'd fashioned like 20 years ago, way before all this media proliferation and all that. Like, we cobbled together a real media server, and being an internet engineer, we figured out a way of sneaking through firewalls so that a few of our mates could sit at the desks, log on to this private link, and we'd just be DJing all afternoon. And then, like, fast forward 20 years, and everyone's doing internet radio. It's like, God, really? We were so there for us.
You stopped.
And then you what, buddy?
You stopped too soon. Like by the time you were worn out from it, was then everyone else was just getting started.
Do you know what, mate? I think we did about 10 years on My House, Your House radio from the very start. And we sort of took it from, just the bedroom DJs plugging in and just playing tunes. We went full BBC on it, room full of people, loads and loads of gear, microphones, guest DJs, like stupid games, all sorts of stuff. It was pioneering stuff. We actually pioneered, true story, rock, paper, scissors for the radio.
It was funny. It was absolutely funny. And can people still listen to it on SoundCloud?
I think the Bunker archives are actually still all up. SoundCloud.com/The Bunker Show, I think it is, and there should still be quite a lot of the shows up there. But yeah, it was good times, mate. Good music as well. Good people.
Yeah. If you like your old kind of house, good times house, then yeah, go and listen to The Bunker Show. Search up The Bunker Show on SoundCloud.
How old are we talking, Johnny? Because I watched Human Traffic for the first time in ages this week. Are we talking pre-Human Traffic era?
Let's have a think. So yeah, it'll have been Will Bowman's Human Traffic, late 90s Human Traffic.
99, yes.
Ooh.
I'm still here. Yeah, go on.
In that case, we would probably have been we'd have been like late. So I'll have been like 2000, 2001, something like that. We started doing the Bunker Show. We've not been doing it for a few years now, but yeah, it was early 2000s. It was not long after I moved into this house, to be fair. So yeah, that was 20 years. Wow, 20 years ago.
That's how old we are. Yes.
And you're all 20 years more mature and grown up, I'm sure.
Yes.
I can vouch for that not being the case.
Johnny, if I was mature and grown up, we wouldn't be friends. You know that.
Yes, it would be terrible. Yes, everything would be the fabric of society, like the universe, the fabric of the universe fraying.
No.
On that, right? This is what we do on the wrap up. Anyone who's joining us for the first time, thank you for being here. This is the end of our week, right? In days gone by, we'd have sat in the pub, got absolutely bloody before stumbling, or worse, in my dad's days, driving home. What do you mean, drink driving? I've had a drink, of course I'm driving home. No, but now, we can't even go out now, let alone flipping drink drive ourselves into oblivion. But we do hang out. We do get this podcast out into people's lives, so that whether they're driving somewhere, cooking, mowing the lawn. Glenn took the piss out of me tragically for mentioning mowing the lawn, but I used to listen to podcasts mowing the lawn. What more can you do when you're mowing the lawn? But yeah, it's a bit of a laugh, bit of a piss take, and sort of like men hanging out. Like, this isn't only about single dads, but we are aware that men sometimes find themselves home alone, and what better way to entertain and support them by bringing the wrap up to them.
Yes, mate. I couldn't agree more.
Cheers, boys, men, gents, reprobates. So if you're listening, then give us a like, send us a review, share this around. If you're watching live right now, then do the same. You can comment. The comments.
People are listening to us. I was chatting to a friend, and she was visiting her bubble over in Chingford, and she was chatting to him, and the husband turned around and said, I saw your mate the other day. Yeah, he was on that wrap up thingy on Facebook. So hi, Dan. Good to have you here.
Dan.
How's it going, lad? How's it going, dude?
That did make me think. You know what? That makes us basically world famous. But it reminded me of actually something where I legitimately think about it and think, am I world famous? Because apparently I was. My friend, he was out in Thailand or something like that, Vietnam, and he was in this just random dive bar in the middle of nowhere and got chatting to the locals, got chatting to this American sitting next to him. And she said, where are you from? And I'm not even going to do the accent because I've not had enough rum yet. She said, where are you from? He said, I'm from England. Oh, I've been to England. I'm from London. Oh, I've been to London. Where have you been? Well, I'm from Walthamstow. I know someone in Walthamstow. Do you? Yeah. His name's not Glenn, is it? Yeah.
No,
it turns out that this American was someone that I met traveling when I was in South Africa, and then ended up catching up with her and spending some time with her in New York a few years later. And she happened to be traveling in a random part of the world where one of my mates was. I think that genuinely makes me world famous.
I agree, mate.
It does, definitely.
Absolutely world famous. Definitely.
Not even 6 degrees of bacon, that is it?
No, fully world famous, mate. I mean, that was the one thing that we used to cling to when we started doing the bunker like years ago. Me and Noel was like that, mate. All this radio, one national radio, blah blah blah. We're broadcasting to the world, the internet, the whole thing, mate. Legit.
Yeah, I'll make you famous. What's that movie?
One way or another.
Yeah. Well, I was on the Villa on the TV show The Villa, and because that obviously I was getting text messages from people in Australia going, "I'm in a bar. You're on the TV. You're naked, drunk, and like, what the hell's going on?" And
Johnny, that was some of your finest work, mate. Serialized and broadcast by Sky TV. I mean, come on, really? It's the stuff of legend, mate.
Hey, I can't knock you, obviously, because you do know I've done it myself.
You've done what yourself?
Get away.
I've done. Yeah, I was literally on BBC this week. I've been trying to explain to my neighbours that I'm not actually famous or anything, but yeah, my kids. Well, no, they've all been on telly with me a few times, but my eldest two made their speaking debuts, doing some commentary on Boris Johnson's opening up the schools plan and so on. So got them there with a rig in front of them and a proper boom mic and stuff. I was really proud of them. It was good. None of them threw up in nerves and fright. So I'm training them well.
Yes, mate. Media training, very savvy.
I threw my guts up horrifically about different occasions in that program. So,
was this a planned throwing up, or was this some sort of pre-nerves kind of tactical chunder?
No,
tactical
chunder. It's on our list. What a brilliant segue there, Glenn. But no, I give it up. Yes, you set it up. Brilliant. I see what you've done there. No, the experience of being on a TV show is brilliant. It says, I got an email. It says, "Do you want to be on TV? Do you want to have a free holiday, meet the woman of your dreams, and go on TV?" I was like, yes, and bloody hell, yes. And so then I had to go and meet the people, which was just like a flipping 5-minute Johnny show with someone having a coffee. I was like, this is going to be easy. Just entertaining.
That would have been a piece of cake for you, that, mate, surely. Yeah.
Entertain this woman and we'll be on. And then I got the invite. And so the only clanger about it was that I was dating a pretty awesome woman called Caroline. We'll call her Caroline because that's her name. And this is a funny story. We have laughed about this. So Caroline, if you're listening, A, I'm sorry, and B, thanks for being awesome. So she goes. So I was trying to work out a way of telling her, right? So I had 2 weeks before, right, and then I had 10 days, and then I had a week, right? And then I was just like, this is really difficult. I wasn't able to tell anyone I was going on it. I wasn't able to tell anyone I was going on it. So I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell. When you two stop fiddling around with that, I'll put your microphone back on.
Just having a phone moment. Go on, carry on.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't. So I told my mate like 3 nights before I was leaving, my housemate, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to ring her. I'm on the way to Heathrow, right? I'm on the way to Heathrow.
Johnny, are we talking about your girlfriend here? You haven't told her that you're appearing on a program is about to be broadcast via satellite to the world, where you're supposed to date other girls. Just for clarity, the last person you're about to tell on the way to the airport is your girlfriend.
Yeah, current girlfriend.
When you put it like that, it does seem pretty bad, yeah. Well, now you mention it. When you break it down, I can see what you're saying. Right? So
that's why I love you, mate.
So I've got a voicemail, right? I'm like, oh shit, voicemail. So no, it's all right. When I get off the tube, I'll ring her. Right, I've got the guts now. I've got the guts to do it. Like, get off the tube, still voicemail. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I left her a voice message. Really sorry. I'm going to Spain on the Villa with Sky. I'll be back in a week. Sorry, see you then. So apparently my flatmates told me they got a phone call from her quite later that evening going, where's Johnny? Who the fuck is Sky? And what villa are they going to?
Dude, and you were the most pissed man on national TV for a good few weeks as well.
So I'm assuming you actually found love then, and it was all worthwhile in the end.
The fun was worthwhile. I didn't get matched up. I got matched up really badly. She just didn't seem like a match. In fact, I make a wisecrack at the end. I don't think I'll be spoiling it for you. So my pun / joke when they revealed was, I said, she must be asthmatic. It was the only thing I could think of that hadn't like come out during the week of being together. Like, what's the reason? Oh, you're both asthmatic. Okay, great. That's why we put you together.
Johnny, I've known you for 30 years. Are you telling me you're asthmatic?
I can put it down, yeah, but I don't necessarily suffer from it.
Some of the shit I've seen you do, and you're like, no way you can be asthmatic. No way.
Can we do 3 times?
Not having it.
That's why I've got such big lungs. I have large lung capacity.
Fucking Lance Armstrong had big lungs, mate.
The good old days, the good old days. Imagine what 3 bongs in a row would do to you right now. That'd be amazing. So, tactical chunders, right? Back to the point, right? It wasn't tactical, right? We're playing a drinking game. Drinking games, I'm always the worst at. You know, the one where you have to, like you have to drink with one hand. That's what gets me every time. Like, because
when this is all over, I am absolutely noting that piece of information, and we are going to play not only drinking games, but drinking games with forfeits, because this could get fun.
So I'm going to put the DVD on YouTube, because people have been asking me to put it on YouTube. And we're dressed up in like safari kind of. We had to make outfits out of stuff we could find around the villa. So we made outfits out of all reeds and things. So we looked like Hawaiian kind of like cavemen basically. And the drinking game ensued. And I should have taken a tactical chunder for any of our listeners, right? Because the question I was going to ask people was, is the tactical chunder a regular thing, a normal thing? You know, like you're out on a good night out. It gets to a certain point. You've been out about 3 hours. You're feeling a bit like worse for wear. So the obvious thing to do is go and throw up so that you can go again, basically. And
okay, Johnny. Given that we have the standard the internet 2 seconds delay, for the benefit of we're making notes now.
Yeah.
And we're going to raise them at the end.
Okay. I asked someone the other day and they were like, tactical chunder, what are you talking about?
How can you not know what it is?
I'll show you what I've written, Johnny. There's all sorts of health risks. This is a dark area. However, I am fully with you on the tactical chunder. Not something that I think I've partaken of myself knowingly, but I do know people that it actually is halfway through the night, tactical chunder, and they just appear again, looking fresh, and you're like, where has those 10 pints gone? Because I can barely move. And then it's like that.
That's one of my issues. One of my issues is the fact that beer takes up a lot of space. I'm getting feedback. Am I the only one getting feedback here, or is it all right?
I just turned off Colin's mic. It's Colin's mic. It's fine.
But yeah, beer takes up a lot of room inside you. My old man, when we go to the football, he can sit there and he'll just drink pint after pint after pint after pint. We'll go through 6, 7, 8, 9 pints before the match, another couple at half time, another couple afterwards. He might take 1 piss the entire time. How does that, where does it go? I mean, how does it fit inside you? I mean, I reckon I can fit at most 3/4, maybe a pint of beer inside me, your bladder at any one stage. So then it just becomes like a nightclub where you got 1 in, 1 out. I don't want to keep going to the bloody toilet all the time. That's why I enjoy rum a lot more. But yeah, when you're out and you're on the beers, that's when you start thinking, you know what? I can't get this out quick enough. Do I just need to tactical and then start again, or do I just have to accept the fact that I'm going to be pissing like a racehorse for the next hour?
No, you see, it's not about, for me, it wasn't about the how many pisses I was going to have, because absolutely how completely and unbelievably obliteratingly drunk I was. And then I would start kind of getting heartburn and burping and like eating on me. So it'd be like, right, what I need to do now, because clearly the wheels are coming off, I'm going to go and have a tactical chunder, which will sort of reset the clock. When I come back, I'm probably going to move on to the Jack Daniels and Cokes. Probably that's probably what's going to happen.
You see, I think what you need to do, Glenn, is it's all about your approach, mate. And like yourself, I'm not a man that can put away pints after pint. I've been with a bloke this afternoon that literally can just keep drinking them, and they go down like 3-4 seconds a pint. You're like that. My God, Terence, how do you do that? It's ridiculous. But I'm not that person, Glenn. So I've noticed you've got a rum there, my mate.
I have indeed.
There you go. That should therefore be your mantra as you set off. Don't get drawn into this whole men drink pints. I tend to drink bottles if I fancy a lager. Otherwise, it's like brandies or vodkas or like yourself, rums. You know what I mean? And if you have it with a fruit juice, it's also one of your 5 a day.
Oh, this is health tips. This is basically giving me some sort of inside cleansing and that sort of thing. I'm going to feel happier as a result of this. The only trouble with that, see, normally on a night out, absolutely, I'm with you. But for one weird reason, football stadiums, they don't tend to serve spirits. I don't know why. I'm just like Johnny. I'm a
brown that as well at the bar, don't you? Like that. You want a what? A vodka.
And even if they did, I'm still such a child that when I go to the Spurs, you put your beer glass on top and it fills up from the bottom. I still think it's magic, and I'm a sucker for that. I'll buy pint after pint just to watch them pour the thing.
I'd probably be tempted to go to a Tottenham game just to see that. Rich says a very, very good point. You'd have to be drunk to go to a Tottenham game.
Rich, yeah, you're in the wrong room here, my friend.
Well, it's good to have our northern representatives here. We are getting a fresh perspective, not just on health and nutrition, but also sporting. Perfect. So we have solved one of the big questions in life, the tactical chunder. It's not just a real thing, but it happens up north, down south. Does it happen in other countries? I feel with the amount of beer our American cousins drink, they must surely do a tactical chunder in America.
No, they're massive. They just literally hold it inside them for a couple of months at a time.
Okay, so I have a question then. Is light beer actually lighter? That's what I want to know. So if you drink like, you have to look at your beer consumption in the way an F1 team looks at fuel consumption and start measuring it by the kilo.
Good point. By the way, Glenn and Cole, we have 2 big F1 fans together here tonight.
Hey, 3 actually. Yorkshire's an F1 fan.
Nice.
I'm incredibly excited about the new season. But I'm such a fan. My youngest son is called Jensen. And so, yeah, I am so excited about the season ahead. I think it's going to be an incredible season. And I can't understand why the entire world isn't as excited as I am. I'm more excited about the F1 than I am about the Euros.
I think if you were a real fan, you'd have called your son Fangio.
Fernando Smith. No, you know what? Speaking of Jensen Button, not last summer, obviously, the summer before, after his first book come out, I was working on an event and spent the afternoon with Jensen Button. And I bought my dad Jensen's auto for Christmas, like the 6 months earlier, and then he'd finished it, obviously, and gone, here, I'll read this. So I was reading it about the time of this event I was working on, and I was like, oh, I'm catching up with Jensen. What I'll do is I'll get me to write a little something in the inside of this book, and then give it back to my old man with a little message from Jensen. Do you know what I mean? It was about time he just had his first sprog, and spent more time chatting about like being dads and mucking about than remembering to get his book out of my laptop back. So I get back, give me dad this book back, and I was like, that yeah, nice bell to read that. So as it happens, I spent the afternoon with Jensen like last Sunday in the commentary box at Silverstone. Top bloke. I had every intention of getting him to write you a lovely message inside cover of your book. However, I completely forgot. It was like that. No! And it was literally, 4 feet away from me for the whole afternoon. So epic fail.
You were starstruck.
It is amazing. It is amazing. It's amazing the things you end up buying your dad and thinking they might like it. I mean, there's things I've bought books and like Aussie Ideas stuff, but I always feel like I should be buying some. I feel like you can buy your kids toys, but you can't buy your dad toys.
No, but you see, you can like what I did for me old man's birthday a couple of years ago. I bought him the next best thing. I was like that, right? So I've got us tickets to the Barcelona Grand Prix. I've got us some flights. I've booked us a lovely apartment right opposite the Gaudi. And if it's one thing that we do before you leave this planet, we are going to watch a race. So you can do cool things like that with your dads. That would be a total pain in the arse if you had to take your kids. I mean, we love them, couldn't eat a full one, but would you want to go to an F1 weekend with your kids? Oh, let's be honest.
No, I mean,
that's definitely one of the things that you want per weekend.
Yeah. Time and experiences are good. I've been around the world with my old man watching Spurs and watching going to a few wins and a couple of losses, and it's always a weird experience. Just drinking, knowing that, you know what, he's just going to be as drunk as I am. He's not going to take care of me just because I happen to be his boy. I've got to take care of him because, you know what, he's a little bit.
Do you know what though, Glenn? Right, we come back, right, and it is Team Super Dad. I guess it is relevant. We got back, and I got to a point where it was like, how has it taken me like past 40 years to connect with my dad in this way? It was the first time we'd ever done anything sort of just us, just me and him, road trip, you know, boys' own weekend. And I was like, in a way, you could have looked at it and gone, oh, look at all the stuff we missed out on. But it was like that. Now that we've figured out this is actually a thing, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. And he is totally looking forward to it. He messages me all the time, we're going to race this year, But do you know what, Dad? We definitely are. I can't recommend it enough, mate. Ooh,
well, no, we're still here. Yeah, I've how many piss-ups I've had with my dad? I don't actually know. My dad's I think it's fair to call him a pisshead, right? But he's okay. He's okay with that. He openly says, "I've drunk a bottle of wine a day at least for 40 odd years." So you know, it says, you know, if I was French, it'd be completely normal. And he's a positive, happy. You know, it's not like he's flipping sitting there rocking back and forth with his can of flipping Tenants. But I'm trying to think of nights out with my dad where we've actually got pissed together. I don't actually know. I think
we've done loads. We've done as a family as well, where I go, my brother will go, my sister will go, and so on. We did one year. We did Monopoly. Have you ever done Monopoly?
Well, like booze Monopoly,
a drinking game.
Yeah. No, this is not just a drinking game. This is a drinking game in life. So obviously in Monopoly, because London is the greatest city in the world, Monopoly is based on the London, loads of pubs and bars around London. So what we've done is realize what you have to do is you have to have a drink in every bar, in a bar on every street around the Monopoly board and every station as well.
That sounds amazing. I'd be so in for that, mate. Definitely.
It's harder than you think. You have to actually only have half a pint or a single or something like that, because you're talking 26 different streets and you're going around. And at the start, you think, oh, this is easy, you know, just knock one back and go to the next one. You've got about half an hour per bar. So at the start, you're kind of zigzagging all over London trying to get to the faraway ones. But then you kind of spiral in on the West End. And then you end up kind of walking and staggering, and you end. Honestly, there are kind of a couple of routes you do it, because you go into a bar and you roll a dice. If you get a 6, you get a chance card, and some of those cards are, you know what, everyone's got to buy you the next round, or you've got to go ahead to the next place and buy the next round, or you might get a gel free card, which is basically you can have a soft drink. I'll tell you what, they are gold dust.
But yes, keep all that.
What we've got is you'll realise when we did it, there was a kind of a stag do or two that were doing it at the same time, and they came in. We were at a certain schedule and a pace going through, and so you go in there, you drink it, and you're making sure you're all going through. And they came in, they was roaring, yeah, we'll do this one, do this, and you could see them being really quick. And then over the course of the entire day, we just started picking them up one by one, where they were just falling asleep in a corner, or they were just kind of staggering, holding a lamppost or something. You've got to pace yourself. It's a hard challenge, but it's well worth doing.
That's where experience kicks in, isn't it, really?
Tactical chunder.
And there you go, tactical chunder at Fenchurch Station.
Yeah.
Cooking on gas. Nice clean bogs as well.
Because no one's ever heard of Fenchurch Street. That's why there's clean.
I don't know where the fuck is Fenchurch Street. And is there a station on there? Probably not.
Probably not.
It's genuinely,
Yeah, we're just going to Google it.
it's genuinely just off of Mincing Lane.
No, I'll tell you what, we ended up in a bar. I'm just going to move the thing up there. There you go. That's better. It's not pointing at the lights. Then.
Yeah.
We ended up in a bar in Soho last year before, and it was a fabulous bar. They only served halves, right? No matter who you were, what you were, they only served halves. And for Jesus, Fenchurch Street is a blinder, boys. It's massive. It's a proper one, right? So you could only have a half, and literally, if you answered a phone call or made a phone call, you were out. It was a proper pub. It was fabulous.
No phones.
Yep.
See, if that's a drinking game, I'd be out. You're on the phone, out. Oh, by the way, you answered the phone with your left hand. That means you've got to do 3 shots of Sambuca on the way out.
No. Fabulous pub. We should add it to. Fenchurch Street is like, it's a proper old school Victorian station. It'd be like that. How could you have missed it?
Well, Glenn, we're going to combine that day out with our dating photo shoot, which these know about. We got an idea that we're going to, because blokes on their profiles always have crap photos, yeah. So we're going to, Glenn knows a photographer guy is going to come out with us, and he's going to take shots so that we got good, and then he can carry on taking photos, and we'll turn it into like a Hangover Part 4 like video sort of. Like
Tigers.
Flick book again.
If he doesn't end up with at least 3 facial tattoos, it would have been a waste of an evening.
I'll tell you what, though, right? You could spice it up by. Have you got them annoying electric scooters that you can rent in London?
Probably.
Right. They're all over Liverpool, like scallies just with no idea, dressed head to toe like ninjas trying to get run over, tearing around Liverpool on these bloody electric scooters, right? Or is it HSBC, Barclays, hire bikes, whatever they are, right? You should do it on them.
I got to say, Segway is definitely a big boy toy.
Do you know what? So far as big boys' toys go, I think there's bigger.
Well, listen, funny you should mention that, guys. This week, this is seamless. This is so good. Bought my kids laser tag this week. Absolutely mega. I remember when
actual laser tag.
Yeah, so not the brand laser tag. They don't exist anymore, basically. But given my first laser tag, I bought them back from America when my brother and I were about 12. That's a long time ago to have like light-based
back.
Johnny, that's 35 years ago, mate. They hadn't invented lasers then. No,
I'm not. This isn't one of my made-up nonsense things. Because Glenn's experienced that. Colin obviously knows my ramblings. He's like, listen to what Johnny said. Clearly, it was bollocks. Right? But this is true. This is true. No, laser tag. We bought them back from America. I mean, they were quite big guns, but you had the breastplate thing, and if you hit the target,
but it was like the Ghostbusters, wasn't it? A big old proton pack.
It was big.
Have you got all the armor? Have you got like helmets to wear and glasses and that sort of thing?
No, they've skinnied it down, and because like kids don't stand for all that sort of stuff. They just want it nice.
I have a safety issue around like children and lasers in the home environment, Johnny. I take it we've got like EU certification.
Proton laser. A proton laser. No, it's just more like a light, really. But it does trigger when the gun gets the gun. It triggers it. It triggers. It's bloody black. So the thing was, I bought two.
Can you watch the streams?
Yeah. Oh, Ray. When she asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Hey, I didn't even need the instruction. That's just my default response.
Yes, I have. It's on my business card.
No, so it just got me thinking about kids' toys and bits. So basically, as soon as they started playing with them, I said, oh, we need another one. So I got on the old internet and straight on Smith's Toys. So we bought another one. So now we've got 4 guns because clearly I needed to be involved as well.
Do you want me to show you the toy that has caused the most hilarity in this house in the last 12 months?
Yeah.
I can actually show it to you right now and you will not believe it. All right? And as it happens, we're in the kitchen. Don't go away.
Bring it out.
Honestly, if this is a sex toy, I'm not sure I'm on that sort of show.
I know. I'm imagining a sex toy. I got to be honest. I could because
unless your sex toys look like small frying pans. Oh. There you go. An actual frying pan. Right.
Yeah, cool. That's like eggs and that sort of stuff.
So Yorkshire here says that's not a man's frying pan. No, it's frying pan. Look at that. It's perfectly just the same size as Richard's face. But this, if you make your pancakes a bit on the thicker side, so less crepey and more sort of what's the smaller pancake? A bit thicker, but not waffle thickness, right? And let them give them a good cook. They'll slip out of here and are the perfect indoor frisbee, right? They don't break a single thing. They wrap around things, right? You can properly skim them at the kids. They're like ninja throwing stars, and they make a really satisfying slap when you hit them in the face.
So we're actively encouraging throwing food around the house. Okay, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Not food, but hot food with frying oil all over it. I mean, I can't see what would go wrong.
I mean, you don't necessarily go straight from the pan to your kid's head. You know what I mean? Like a small pile of cooling pancakes is definitely a safer option. But so far as like breaking shit's concerned, taking stuff off shelves, it's almost pain-free. There's virtually no cleanup. And if you've got a pet, you don't have to worry about the ones that you don't find because eventually the dog will turn up doing something that looks like a frisbee.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. My brother and I don't know how my dad put up with this. We had this game when we were kids. Actually, my brother was not much involved in the game. It was more like my game. My brother has a little bit of a thing about fruit. It's a kind of almost a fear about fruit, some types of fruit, which I wasn't really that tuned into. But what I found hilarious was that I could throw fruit at him and he would panic and react and run away. So for a period of time, I would run around and throw fruit at him without a care in the world about what that was.
Actual phobia
of fruit.
Yeah,
it will be. Yeah.
What is someone who is a fruit phobic? Rich, can we get a ruling on this, please? Fruit phobia. So I have notes, Johnny. We'll go back to these.
This is a counselling session. This is going to end in a counselling session. Well, listen, guys.
Fructophobia.
It's called fruitophobia.
Check out the big brain umbrella.
Glenn, mate, you were there before Google. Well done. Fructophobia. So, speaking of throwing things at people, one of the other hilarious games that we invented was one day we were going to be going out for a ride, me and the kids on the bikes. I looked out the patio doors. I was like, oh, it looks like rain. And the kids were like, how do you know? Well, it's your spider senses, isn't it? You just like tingle a little bit. Looks like it's going to rain. Lo and behold, it rained about half an hour later. But it led on to this whole discussion of spider senses. And unless you were around in our day, you've got no idea what spider senses are, right? Because like modern Spider-Man doesn't do the whole spider senses are tingling. So I basically tried to introduce him to the concept of the Force and like the Jedi thing, where you just feel stuff. I fished them in suitably, so I convinced one of them to go stand in the back garden with a blindfold on while we threw stuff at him, and they had to catch it just using the Force, right? Which turned out to be hilarious, absolutely hilarious. So Maddie had a go, then Lola had a go, and then it was like, Dad, you have a go. And this is the genius of evil children. Lola, the youngest of my two daughters, was hurling everything she could at me, right? And as the recipient, you're expecting it. So Maddie taps her on the shoulder, stop, right? Because she's figured out that I'm now getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The fear of something being thrown was actually worse than having something thrown at you. And I was in the fetal position on the deck going, please throw it, please just throw it. I can't put up with it, mate. Evil, but top game.
So the fruit throwing game. So if you're listening and you are going into the fruit throwing game this weekend, send us your pictures. Tweet us at A Dating Dad or Team Super Dad HQ. We would love to see quivering dads being pelted with fruit in blindfolds. This could be a sex game or just a game with your kids.
The worst 9.5 weeks ever.
Put the banana down. Okay, put the banana
down. That's bad.
Look, we like on the wrap up, right? We like to do a little bit of a serious thing, right? And this does kind of segue nicely into something I saw on LinkedIn the other day. This bloke, right? And I see the funny side of it, but the interesting thing about seeing the funny side is it led me to check it out. So there's this guy in like Blades, you know, like the Pistorius guy, the South African, the guy,
black vampire killing blade.
Yeah, like these are running blades, like people with no legs. Yeah. So there's this guy in a video, and it's on LinkedIn, so it's supposed to be a bit serious, right? It's business, right? So he's running, and then bugger me if he doesn't go arse over tits and slips up. And like anyone falling over is funny, okay? I mean, like, part of me is thinking, okay, he's got no legs, but like it's like funny's funny, like it's just funny's funny, right? So he's got, and then it gets funnier because the guy goes in to help him get up, and he's like, "Fuck off," and you can see he's just not having none of it. So now I'm watching, I'm thinking, this bloke is hard. This bloke is proper hard. Like he's on a mission here. So then I go and actually pay attention to what's going on, right? This bloke's name is called Mark Ormrod, right? And he's an Afghan vet.
I've heard of that name. That's not the striker from Middlesbrough in the 90s, is it?
If it was before we went to
that was Brett Ormrod.
His brother.
This bloke Mark is a flipping dude. So he's an Afghan vet. He got his legs. He's trod on there can be nothing more gutting than treading on a mine, right?
I mean, reckon.
It's going to put a dampener on your day.
It must be like, oh shit! Like there's a second there when you know it's happened. Jokes aside, both his legs and an arm, right? So he's proper hard, right? Look, check out. I'm going to share the screen, right? Check out. He's been to the Invictus Games. He's like a medal winner. Like this bloke is seriously inspiring. Let me get the screen share up. And the reason I'm sharing this is he's got a Thanksgiving page, and he's at 14 and a half.
Just giving. Thanksgiving is a very different thing. He does
Thanksgiving page.
He just needs one more turkey. He just needs one more turkey. Thanksgiving.
That reminds me of that Simpsons where he sings the song "Margie, you came and you bought me a turkey on your vacation away from worky."
No. Just Giving. It's a Just Giving page. Look at the guy's muscles. And so this is him. This is him.
The thing is, I'm sitting here looking at this man. He's got no legs and one arm, and I'm convinced he could still beat me up.
Oh, he's proper hard.
Is he called Bob?
No, he's called Bob.
Is that him as well? Is that him there?
Look at him.
Jesus, he's ripped.
I know. He's a dad.
I thought you said he only had one arm.
No, he did. That's his like flipping.
He can pick up more with his prosthetic than I can with a real one. That's like a gas cylinder.
I know, but he has got the bonus. You know, when you pick up something really tight on your fingers, it like really cuts into your fingers. But he hasn't got that on that hand. That's fine.
Oh, you'd never get a burn sliding down a rope, would you?
So he's proper. So he falls over on this run, and they're making a documentary because he's doing a 5K run, right? So it's flipping inspiring. And so he falls over. And he's like, the guy comes to help him up. He's like, no. And he like everything it can take in his body to get up on the thing. And so the guy goes, what happened? He goes, it's icy as hell. It's just like, he goes, when you go from the tarmac to the concrete, it's like, whew, that is exactly what happened. But let me bring up the I've been chatting to him on LinkedIn, right? So he started this fundraising thing for REORG by doing a beard shaving contest to raise £1,000, and he's up to £14,142. So I'm going to put it in the notes here.
Can I just ask you to just mention who REORG actually are, because most people won't know.
Okay, well, good one.
Yeah, REORG, they're a charity that was set up for supporting service personnel when they leave the military. Because obviously when they've got this life where you're in a mindset of waking up, and you're told when to wake up, you're told when to eat, you're told when to sleep, you're told where to go, you're told what to do. And everything is structured. You're basically broken down so that you can then be rebuilt into a soldier who doesn't ask questions and just does things. Not only that, but then obviously they go off to war and literally see their mates' legs and arms blown off and have their own legs and arms blown off. And so reintegrating in modern society is tough, to say the very least. It really changes you. And so REORG's all about helping people just move from military service just back into non-military life, into civil life. And it's an incredible thing, really hard. And it takes people who know what they're doing to have really gone through that and to be able to support people in that situation. Yeah,
because so many servicemen just flipping fall by the wayside after they've left the army, because everything they've known is suddenly been taken away, and they've got to fit into the normal world. Yeah, it says here, helping people adjust after a career in the service and changing the lives of those who help us all. So true, absolutely so true. So look, I thought we'd bring this up, right, because the guy's so close to the 15K. It's been awesome. So if you search Mark Ormrod on, if you go to Just Giving and go to Mark Ormrod, but I put his actual page in there. But it's quite a long thing to remember. But justgiving.com/fundraising/Mark-Ormrod6 ORMRod6. So Mark, good on you, buddy. I know we've had a bit of a banter there, but dude, you are double hard. Done more than
you know what? You've got to take your hat off to anybody that loses like limbs and then goes, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna run 15K, or I'm gonna run 5K, or I'm just gonna get up and walk again. Do you know what I mean? That's
even though he's only got a quarter of the limbs I've got, he's twice the man I'll ever be. Look at him. He's incredible.
There he is with his wife and kids. He's got two. He's a proper dude.
Absolutely love the way you put that, Glenn. Very succinct.
Yeah. Nailed it.
So good stuff.
Yeah.
So on with the show. Where are we at? There we go. Hot in the 90s. We need a jingle for this, please, Carl, on the jingle list.
Johnny, I have got. Can I refer to my notes, please? Sorry to talk across you, but I have got some outstanding notes. One was around fruit phobia, which Glenn correctly resolved to fructophobia. But the other one was around falling down. It's a very funny story. It happens all the time. Proof being that me and my mate were doing a little bit of work for a customer, and we were parked up on the car park. We'd been doing a bit of grounds maintenance. It was a rainy day, and I think it was one of the employees, one of the staff was coming in. So he was riding across the car park. We were just parked in a pretty much empty Costco car park, right? And this guy was coming in from the pedestrian entrance, riding across the car park, and for some reason chose to ride about 3 feet in front of the van. There was like an acre of space for him to have ridden through, but he chose to ride right past the front of the van and give us a good eyeball as he rode past. So, have you seen the film Hot Rod with that guy that wants to be a stuntman? If you haven't, it's hilarious. You should watch it. So he's riding past on his bike. And as he looks in, John just like catches his eye and just eyeballs him, and you can see these two lock eyeballs as he rides past on this bike. So the geezer on the bike goes for the full chest out, one hand off, and looks over his shoulder like that. And as he looks over his shoulder, the bike just goes woof from underneath him. And he just ends up lying on the floor immediately after making eye contact with the passenger in my van. Just like that. Absolutely no reason whatsoever for him to have gone down other than chest out, one-handed. And it just went like that. Poof, gone.
John, use the force.
Hilarious, mate.
There's 250 quid if you could have videoed that for certain.
Honestly, it was pure gold. There was no grids, there was no curbs, there was no reason whatsoever. He just went down because he was staring at John.
My brother in Brighton did the classic open the door on the open the door of the car straight in front of a cyclist who then both twatted himself and the door. A whole big disaster. And my brother's good at fixing problems, but in the moment he's quite like whoa. Like kind of. I did not see the event, but I truly wish I had. So guys,
as a cyclist, there's quite a large part of me that goes, ooh. The rest of me is going.
I'm a cyclist. Well, I know that's part of the territory, basically, especially in a city like Brighton. You got to have eyes 50 feet in front of you at least. So I put a fair degree of fault on the cyclists there as 50-50 at least. We do the regular feature, Hot in the 90s. So here's the thing, right? We've got new people on the show, so let's explain how Hot in the 90s works. Glenn and I were discussing hot women, being that we are both available gentlemen, so I was talking about the 90s and lads mags and supermodels and Big Breakfast and all this good stuff, right? And then I asked, are
we talking about like the Gail Porters of this world?
Oh, here we go.
she'll go in there. Do you know, incredibly short woman. She's like a.
I actually have a story about Gail Porter that there is no way on earth we could ever come close to broadcasting. But as Hot in the 90s goes, she was still hot in like the 2010s, mate.
Okay, well, no, that's the thing. What Glenn and I realised was that it was far more appropriate for us to be wondering how these Hot in the 90s ladies were doing right now, rather than going and looking for 20, 25-year-olds, which are closer to our daughter's age. So we're sticking with the 40-somethings, or in Glenn's case, down to 35.
30s is still fine for me, my friend.
Glenn, remind us of your rule, Glenn. Remind us of your rule.
Yeah, my rule for whether I think I've got a chance with someone is, do they think Skeletor is the bad guy from He-Man or the character in the money supermarket adverts? If it's a former, they're good. It's a standard rule.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Could I have gone to school with them, basically? Kind of 6 years below, 6 years above-ish, maybe a bit wider, depending on how hot they are.
Anybody who knows the Airwolf tune? Yeah,
if you can whistle the theme tune to Airwolf, then you stand the fighting chance.
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah, totally.
Or even better, if you know like Hong Kong Fooey is or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's like even better still.
Yeah.
I read about that on the internet. That was an old school television cartoon show, wasn't it? I read about that.
Sorry, mate, it can't happen. Glad you got my type, mate.
No.
Damn it!
Rosemary, the telephone operator.
Hello, this is Rosemary, the telephone operator. You won't remember any of that, will you?
Glenn knows.
So right. So are we talking about like the Kim Bassingers of the world, that when you were like in the 90s and you were like, whoa, Felicity Kendall's to an extent?
Felicity Kendall, oh my God.
Felicity Kendall's still hot.
Must be in her 70s now. Come on.
Yeah, she's still hot.
I mean, like, remember like the whole Helen Mirren thing where it's like, whoa, Helen Mirren. I mean, fuck me, she's nearly 80 now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where, like there should be an EU ruling for like the crossover point at which they stop being too young to be your daughter and stand up on their own 2 feet as a woman, and you go, yeah, defo would, without being like in any way close to like, you know, being under the pedo or on the scale in any way. Is there also like an upper end as well where it's like, come on, mate, it's your nan? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a bit little Britain, isn't it?
Capital yes. In fact, repeated. Yes.
So necrophilia is a thing.
So dead is definitely too old.
Oh, definitely. Don't. When in the early days of Twitter, I set up this news feed auto tweeting thing with using Yahoo pipes. It was way ahead of its time. I was auto tweeting and stuff. And I put out a tweet that somehow picked up an article from a German newspaper about a band that had been arrested for some kind of necrophilia activity.
How would you even find that? What sort of search algorithm was going through your mind?
It came through Yahoo News. All I can say is it wasn't my fault.
so like Rich raises a good point. If you were going to be towing either line, the one at the young end of the scale or the one at the older end of the scale, which would be a worse shadow to be cast under? Closer to the pedo line or closer to the necro line? Which one would you rather not be closest to?
I don't know that I can be. I might take the fifth on this one.
I think it's plus or minus 20.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 20.
Yeah, your age plus or minus 20, I think is a good jumping off point.
The standard, the accepted age is half your age plus 7. That's meant to be half your age plus 7 is meant to be the kind of lower end of the scale for you.
Okay, Cole, let's test this. For those that are on the podcast, I do apologize. You're going to have to go and watch the replay to see a picture of Felicity Kendall in there we go. So we got Felicity Kendall in a swimsuit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, can we zoom in on that, Johnny?
No. Can I zoom in? Go F11. F11. Open. Oh no, not link. Oh, we've got a link. Okay.
There she is. Johnny, what have you clicked on?
And worry what your website you're going through to here.
You got to entertain our podcast guests whilst we wait for page links to open. I mean, surely Cher's a curious person.
Oh. No, mate. No, just for one record, do you believe? No, she's like, no. Every single R&B, every single shit R&B song you've ever heard in your life is in some way connected to that horrible Cher record, mate, and she can never be forgiven for it.
What about when they put the reverb on?
No,
I didn't realize she won an Oscar.
We have a suggestion. I think Rich has won the internet on this one.
Okay.
Wendy James.
Transvision Vamp.
Wendy. So what? Does Trans count as rock band? Because my question today was hot in the 90s rock singers, because I was leaning into Glenn's.
Well, it depends on whether she was like what her age was in the year 2000 then, because if she could be fit or she could be bait. It depends. How old is she? Wikipedia.
52.
She was definitely smoking in the 90s then.
That's okay, yeah, but the curious question is, hot in the 90s? Yes. Is she still hot now? That's kind of because we're wondering if she's basically if she's hot now and single, then she's in.
Johnny, third picture along there, mate. Third picture, please, buddy.
That one there.
That's the one.
Well, yeah, that's her in the 90s. That's definitely, she's in. So, what band was she in?
Transvision Vamp.
Transvision Vamp.
Is that rock in any way?
I don't care. I'm not really bothered either way. She was in a band and she was hot.
Hey, Carl, we're hot in the 90s rock chicks.
Okay, so I've got 4 that you might want to have a look up then. Obviously the first one is nice. It's an easy yes, and I will fight anyone who says no. Gwen Stefani.
Oh, hell yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simple Yes was stunning back then and had an attitude of, you know what, fuck you. I don't give a shit what you think. I'm dressing, I'm acting the way I am because I want to act this way. Just absolutely stunning. She's a not only is she sexy as fuck, she's a role model for my girls as well. Talking about role model for my girls, the girl my oldest child was named after is Keris Matthews from Catatonia.
Very cool. Very, very cool, mate.
Is she married to Noel Gallagher?
No idea, but all I know is she is a genius.
No, that was Patsy Kensit.
Yeah, she's stunningly attractive, and International Velvet is one of those rare beasts where it's an absolutely perfect album without a single bit of filler on the entire thing. It works absolutely superbly. Then the next two, the last two I thought I'd bring up. One is a petite kind of, I will say she's alternative music rather than pop princess. It's Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah.
Jagged Little Pill is another one of these albums. For me, it's an album I listen to when things maybe romantically have not gone right with a lady and we've split up. My God, I never knew what a breakup album was until I'd been heartbroken. And she just rips into it. It's superb in a way that I don't think any other album does. My final one, Sex
of Alanis Morissette performing on stage, possibly a sex act. I'm not sure, but
has she had a few parties? When was that? Is that recently?
Recent.
Look at the biceps on her.
She's at the Weight Watchers Award.
A woman with bigger arms than you.
Here's an old one. There she's looking.
Oh yes, that's the one. That's the one.
I do love her little cameo appearance in Dogma as well, where she played God. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love that one. And my final entry has got to be it's sometimes scary, but just again vocally supreme, Skin from Skunk Anansie.
Yes, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
So sensual, but again with this kind of fuck you power that is just inspiring. She's just got perfect skin, perfect attitude, and she looks basically the same now as she did 30 years ago. I don't know how many people she's been killing and bathing in their blood, but it's worth every single one of them.
There we go. That is actually her like same age photos. Also, you're doing good for bringing some balance to our episode as well there.
I just didn't realize, I couldn't work out how people could listen to her in that mask thing and not know who she was. I genuinely was talking to a colleague and said, but it's Skin from Skunk Anansie. And they were like, who's Skunk Anansie? Was she a famous singer or something? No, Skunk Anansie, the band. They just didn't know who they were. And so there was a resurgence of this music.
They then went and Googled Skunk and Nancy and still didn't find her.
Yes, one of my friends did exactly that. It was so embarrassing for them, but mortifying for me.
Is she actually bald?
Well, she looks like it.
Whether
this is the wrong thing about bald women, isn't there?
Is she?
I don't know whether she's naturally bald or has alopecia, but she's just sensual. Love her. And again, what was the first album they did do? And yes, it's fucking political on it. Oh God, I'm gonna have to Google this now. What was Skunk Anansie's first album? Skunk Anansie first album. Push. That's what it's. Push. If you haven't listened to it in a while, go back and listen to it. It is incredible. So yeah, those are my top 4 sexy in the 90s alternative grunge-based singers. And no, Courtney Love didn't get on that list because I'm worried that if she gets anything to do with me, she'll probably have me killed and make it look like suicide.
See, personal safety is always paramount, Glenn.
Safety first.
Then Glenn brings he knows how to keep us gentlemen safe when we're out dating. So that is all good. All good. Let's bring us back on screen here. Let's close that. Go 3-way. Yes. Well, chaps, this has been a lot of fun. We've rattled through. We've still, Glenn, we've got issues with this raving this summer subject. It's just not getting around to it. But we'll listen. We're having a bit of laugh, so we will just cover it. It's Boris. Is anyone else watching world news? Is it in America? Obviously, I've got cousins and stuff in America, so
Yeah.
I do seem to be getting a bit of a handle on this thing now in America. My brother lives in France. They seem to be just in quite a serious lockdown, and maybe they've written off the ski season. They're looking forward to possibly the summer. Britain, on the other hand, is fully cranking up, ready for a June 21st. Is it June 21st? Basically.
Yeah.
It's going on mute. Going on full blowout on June 21st, Glenn. You've been following the news? Is that what's happening?
Have I been following the news? It's why I was on telly this week.
I know, but I just have been busy.
Yeah, it looks like 21st of June is a Monday, weirdly. And so I don't think anyone's going to get much done on the 22nd of June, basically. We should just write off that entire week and just accept it. Just acknowledge everyone is going to get pissed. Now, weirdly, it means I'm probably not going to go down the pub Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Probably not that entire week. Because can you imagine how fucking mortal everyone in that pub is going to be? It's going to be atrocious. I mean, no one's going to be holding back. Everyone's going to be in pieces. They'll be having tacticals at 11 a.m. Let's be truthful. They'll be pre-drinking at breakfast to make sure they go there on a level. Mate, that first week or two is just going to be horrific. So, I might sit out a little bit and just continue to prep my liver indoors by myself. And then, start going out there a little bit later. But I've started thinking about booking up tickets to places again. I've already got a few things that are kind of rolled over from last year. They're trying to do them again this year. And hopefully there'll be a few more. I did think about going to a festival. I thought about taking my kids to Reading because that's going on this year. But there's just one of me. I've got 4 kids and the littlest one's is going to be 8 in a fortnight. So they're still pretty young. I can't look after 4 kids. And also it's 250 quid a ticket. And when I'm sitting there thinking, they like music, but they've not really got into live music. Do I really want to be sitting there for 3 days, babysitting a bunch of kids and not being able to give it large myself? And also knowing that everyone around me will be absolutely chicken oriental the entire time. I don't really want to expose them to that. I don't want to do that. So I'm probably not going to be taking them out. And I don't know about whether I'm going to be going out too much myself over the summer. How about you, Johnny?
I'm totally up for going out. Definitely. Festivals. Yes. I mean, we're definitely not going to have a vaccination conversation, but assuming, most people are going to have one. If I get offered one, I'll have one. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a flipping laugh. I've got visions of uni days of tactical chunders and drinking in the sun and old friends hugging strangers. The days of like being in London and on Clapham Common or down in Richmond, and the day just kind of rolls and rolls and rolls, and you meet different groups of people, and that I guess I'm hankering back to times that have flipping past now. But if we could read it, but I think everyone's going to be on it. I think especially imagine the sun shining. Plus we got people haven't spoken too much about the fact that the Euros are going to be happening as well. So we're going to be out and the Euros are going to be on. I mean, those photos of the last time the World Cup was on, like in like big parks of 10,000 people drinking all their beers in the air. I mean, oh man, it just kind of seems twisted that seems like such a long.
And the thing is that sort of stuff was happening down in London, where theoretically, we're all awful and we hate each other. Whereas up north, they're all licking each other day and night. I mean, what's it going to be like up there? It's going to be mental.
That's why I twatted for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, like up north, that we are really cut off from the rest of the world. I mean, I think one of the first gigs that we've just bought some tickets for is that he's not very well known as a DJ. Some bloke called Sasha. He's just announced he's doing a 4-hour set at one of the local clubs there. There's a couple of other parties cropped up. Some of the other ones have jumped back in, like literally imminent June, July. So I don't know. I mean, mountains and Sasha, or people that you don't even say hello to on the tube. What do you think?
London. London. It's not happening.
Discussion. London is the
2 hours from Houston. You need to get on the train. You need to come up to some proper humanity. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Then this is what you need to. I'm not an either or person. I'm an and person. So yes, I'll go out in London, and I will absolutely go out up north and every single one, even if up north everything's a bit small and local. But that's okay. It's nice to be played every now and then.
It'll give you some perspective. It'll make you appreciative of what you've got in London
Or what you haven't got in London.
Everyone's a winner.
Listen,
Absolutely.
For our viewers and listeners, what we've got boiling away here, bubbling up nicely at the end of this week's wrap up 29, by the way. Thank you everyone for listening. We've got 2 Northern Monkeys and a soft Southerner, a couple of soft Southerners down here. The big debate always is, and I was a geezer from Maidstone who went to uni in Stafford, and there was literally 2 people from, because it's such a small place anyway, there was literally 2 people who were from like lower than Birmingham in the place, and I had blonde curtains down to past my
mate. They were amazing as well. It's like that. As a bald man, you can openly appreciate somebody else's hair, and you're like that. Well, it was good fucking hair. I'll give you that, man. It was of the time.
Exactly. I just spent the summer in Chicago, so it was fully blonde hair, brown skin, and at school, all through school, secondary school, my nickname was JJ. So up I go, like super confident, like, "Oh, hi everyone, how's it going?" Like, yeah, and literally, Colin and 200 similar people. I'm going, "All right, mate, I'm JJ," and they're going, "Check out the Blair." JJ, who the fuck are you? Laughing in my face, basically.
Thank God you didn't go to Leeds.
Yeah, but Johnny, here we still are, mate. 30 years later, and I was just about to say what we should do is actually get it sorted out and get you both up in one of these quite frankly backwards northern nights.
Yeah.
Come and crash here, and we'll do Team Super Dad on the Sunday afternoon, mate.
Super Dad on tour.
Super Dad on tour, totally.
Yeah, baby.
We'll get the Manchester Monopoly set out and do a session round. Well, Liverpool. We'll do it around Liverpool.
Liverpool, mate.
Yeah.
More fun. Apologies to our Manchester listeners, but we do have greater affinities with the Liverpool side of the Northwest. I look forward to getting more stuck into the north-south divide banter. I look forward also to getting Col and Rich a microphone. And
well, it was a bit spur of the moment, to be fair. So I've got all the stuff upstairs, Johnny. Next time we do this, I'll have it properly sorted out from a technical perspective, mate.
Very, very good, Glenn. Absolutely brilliant to have you here again, sir. Let's send everybody over to A Dating Dad on Twitter, on Instagram, and well, our dating sessions need to get scheduled, Glenn, because we are fully back in the game, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be a long and interesting summer. After the Spanish flu in 1918, the Roaring '20s were hedonistic, to say the least. And that was before they had Snapchat. So can you imagine what the next year's going to be like?
I know. And we could talk for hours, right? But it did occur to me the other day, the year ends in a 1. So
that's a whole different story, my friend.
1991, Summer of Love. We could it possibly be that I didn't even know that the Spanish flu and the Roaring '20s. But anyway, could be. I'm thinking like the third Summer of Love. Basically, we could Could be.
Could
It's going to
be.
be the summer something, and certainly it might be hepatitis, but it doesn't matter. The pleasure is in the catching.
I never got COVID, but I've got awful top rot. I wish I had COVID. This burns.
Fire shoot out your neck.
Oh, I dream of being able to smell something. This is so itchy. Oh my God.
I'll tell you what, the 20% who stay to the end, they get some gold, don't they?
Nice
It's like I always watch movies all the way to the end of the credits now, just in case they've put one of their little vignettes in at the very end where it's like the killer bit. Do you know what I mean?
Good stuff. And listen, we're not going to send anyone to Colin or Rich's Twitter accounts because they're going to be horrific.
No,
they don't even exist anyway, so that's why we're.
What's Twitter? You've not got that up north yet, mate.
Little boys on the street corner selling newspapers in the afternoon. So,
look, Johnny, like we're actually using pens and paper, mate. Not like, you know what I mean?
We're old school.
Old school.
Old school. Yeah.
Colin, Rich, say goodbye.
Goodbye, Colin, Rich.
Glenn, say goodbye.
Ciao.
Everybody, mums, dads, Team Super Dad members around the world, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.
This has been Team Super Dad. Find us at teamsuperdad.com. Join the program and create the best life ever for you and your children. You are not alone. You're on Team Super Dad.